Hello and welcome to the Her Sports Show. I'm your host, Jessica Gardner. Today, we get to chat with Sarah Torrans, who plays for the Irish women's national hockey team. Sarah takes us through a journey to becoming a national hockey player and being a part of the first Irish women's team to ever qualify for an Olympics. She also shares with us her hopes for the future of hockey in Ireland. Let's get into it. We're going to start off with something bit chilled. So what would you say is your routine before a match? Like, do you have like a pre-match ritual, a playlist that you listen to?
I always listen to more like chilled songs just to kind of keep my head in a chill space, I suppose. I know the team would probably have like a speaker going as well. So a few of us would have our seats on the bus. Joe, no matter what bus it is, we kind of have the same spots. So that would be on the way to the game, and then I suppose once we're there, we kind of just chill out in the change room, have a bit of a dance to certain songs. And I don't try and be kind of superstitious around things because our venues can change, so you wouldn't really want to rely on certain things. But I kind of always go like left sock, right sock, left shoe, right shoe is kind of my thing. But apart from that, I just kind of go around with the group and just kind of stay chilled and keep the heart rate down for as long as I can.
And then is there maybe also like a snack that you'll always eat just before a game?
Before a game?
Yeah.
I suppose my meal would always be like pasta and chicken. Everything is pasta and chicken, bit of pesto maybe, but a snack, maybe a few Nature Valley bars, or we have like a lot of gels that we'd use. So having those, maybe a banana or something. But again, try to keep it simple. I'm not a big fan of eating like straight before a game, so I prefer kind of getting it out of the way 3-4 hours in advance.
And then after a game, when you're completely knackered and just so tired, what is like your favorite go-to meal?
Oh, that's tough. We're really fortunate that we're sponsored by Saba, so a lot of the time post games and post training we'd have kind of Saba ready, so that'd be just some curries or like noodle dishes. But I suppose my go-to, it could even be like a pizza. I love a good pizza, nice and simple. But just something with probably a lot of carbs is the main thing, just to recover.
Another random question, pineapple on a pizza? Or
absolutely not.
Okay.
No. Big red flag. No.
Okay, no, I agree. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so Sarah, you play a forward for Ireland women's national hockey team. So someone comes up to you, they've never heard of hockey before. You have 30 seconds to explain to them like what hockey is, to sum it up. I'm actually going to put a timer on now. So you've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
To explain.
Every second. It's meant to be a simple game, but it's very complicated.
Okay, you can start.
I can start
now.
Grand. It's a real quick attacking style game. It's probably, we're meant to keep it simple, but of course we always complicate it for ourselves. But it's just about how fast you can move the ball around the pitch. And there's obviously 2 circles either end, so you can only score in those circles. So as a forward, it's kind of our job to put the goal, or to put the ball in the back of the goal. So it's really nice when that happens, but it kind of comes few and far between sometimes. So it is tough up there, but it's basically how you can just move players and move the ball. So it's quite tactical. And you need to be switched on for the whole 60 minutes just to get those goals.
Yeah, I just realised I actually didn't click start, but I'm sure that was 30 seconds.
It's hard to get in the 30 seconds.
But just also, so how many players are on the field during a game?
So there's 11 players, so 10 outfield and 1 keeper.
Okay, cool. And then obviously then your job is to just try and score the goals.
Exactly, and we have rolling subs, so because the game is so quick, we kind of play, it might be like 6 minutes on, 3 minutes off, but you're kept going the whole time, and it's just so that we can keep the tempo in the game. We just need to keep rotating all the subs.
Awesome, thanks. So growing up, did you play a lot of other different sports?
I did a lot of athletics actually when I was younger, so I did athletics and hockey together. I really enjoyed the athletics. It was really hard to kind of keep it up when the hockey got a bit more serious and I started breaking into kind of national squads. It's just so competitive that you need to train for 5-6 days a week. So I had to kind of choose eventually. I think I was about 16. But yeah, chose hockey just, I think, because of the team sport element, and we can travel the world with it and be really competitive. So yeah, I'm delighted with that decision. But yeah, I do miss the athletics, especially it's great to see the likes of Rashida and everything doing really well now, and you miss kind of the relays and everything. But yeah, maybe when I retire from hockey, I can always go back to that.
Yeah. So I actually did some digging
Oh yeah.
when preparing for this, and I saw that you ran for DSD and you won numerous national medals and an under 16 200 meter relay Irish record.
Yeah.
So you were obviously amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I mean, it's hard to win national medals, let alone kind of get records. I think that record was broken about 2 or 3 years ago, so unfortunately I don't have it anymore. But it was really good at the time. As it was great that we had a good group in DSD. You know, we had 4 or 5 of us that were really competitive there, but our relays were always really successful. And yeah, I picked up a couple of individual medals, which is always nice as well. So.
So did you start off with the athletics, and then at what age did hockey?
Yeah, so I started with the athletics, and then I think I was about 8 maybe I started the hockey. I think that was the youngest kind of age that you could at the time. Where now you can probably get into it when you're 4 or 5, which is great. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I started in Corinthians then. So it's kind of just up the road from me, a local club. When I was about 8, and yeah, played there until about 5th year in school, and that's when I moved then to Loretto, because they were in the EYHL, so it's the top league in Ireland. Yeah.
Okay, and you still play for them?
And today? I still play for Loretto, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so in 2019, Ireland qualified for the Tokyo Olympics after defeating Canada, and they became the first Irish women's hockey team to qualify for the Olympic Games. And leading up to this, you sustained an injury, so you missed out on the Euro Championships in 2021. So let's chat a bit about that. What actually happened there?
Yeah, so obviously we went through COVID and everything, where we weren't training together. We were doing our running sessions all alone and gymming in our gardens, and then we came back as a group. I think it could have been around January in 2021, in the lead up then to Tokyo. And Joe was really competitive for those few months, and we had a selection for the Europeans, which was kind of the final 18, and then it still had to be broken down to the 16 for Tokyo. So it was a big tournament to kind of just cement your place. But after selection, I think it could have been about 2 days after we got the email, I was training and I just rolled my ankle and tore one ligament and kind of sprained another. So did a good job on it. So it was definitely a roller coaster of emotions at that point. You know, it was my first kind of selection for a senior tournament, so it was exciting. But then I knew I was ruled out kind of once I sustained that. But I still had Tokyo in mind, and we were fortunate that we had another tournament, I suppose, that summer, let alone the Olympics. So I just did all my rehab when the girls were away and made sure that I could kind of be on that plane if selected. So fortunately I was.
Yeah. So would you say that wanting to go to Tokyo was your biggest motivation at that point? Yeah,
absolutely. And Joe, you don't really know where you stand at all in the squad until that email comes out. But yeah, it was always in the back of my mind, kind of every morning getting up to do my rehab. It was the main motivation, because it was so close. So it really made it worthwhile getting on the plane.
And I'm sure for any athlete as well, you don't want to get injured, because that really just throws a spanner in the works. So would you say there was maybe something or a few lessons you learned during that time where you were injured, which made you think, okay, I don't want to get injured again? So did you maybe have to change habits around, or
I suppose it really makes you really diligent about, I know nutrition was huge at the time, making sure I'd do enough kind of protein intake for the healings, that they're great for healing ligaments, tendons, everything. So I really put a huge focus into that, and I've kind of maintained that since, which I think has really stood to me. And I suppose also just not taking it for granted. Being on the pitch has been a huge thing, and I've been fortunate enough in my career not to get too many injuries. But you just, every time you're on the pitch, you just want to be there playing. So just not taking it for granted as well.
Yeah. So you made your senior international tournament debut when you were selected to head to Tokyo and be a part of the national team. Do you remember how you felt when you received that news? Because obviously you had been injured, so like you said, that was your motivation to obviously get into the squad, but you still, it was still very much up in the air. So how did you act when you found out?
Yeah, I think I was probably speechless. You get the email. We get selection emails at 8 a.m. every morning, so at least there was a time. But I can tell you, I didn't sleep at all that night, and I think I read the email probably 4 or 5 times to make sure I was reading it correctly. And Mum was just outside the door, obviously knowing that it was coming. So, we were just delighted, and delighted that I actually had gotten there, and the rehab paid off. And we received it at 8 and I had a rehab session at 9, so kind of had to switch straight back into that mode. But no, it was just great to be able to just celebrate it with family and friends and everything. And Sean, the coach, called me as well a couple hours after, so it was nice just to get all that kind of recognition, and just know is what was coming up.
And I think it was awesome also that the coach phoned you, just because I think it also gives you just that personal element of like him also probably wanting to congratulate you as well.
Yeah, because it's a tough time for a coach as well, with any selection in any sport. So yeah, it's special. I think he was involved as well in Olympic teams when he was a player. So yeah, he kind of knows how it is as a player's point of view. So yeah, it's always special just to hear their words.
Yeah. So now you became an Olympian, and before actually going there, going to Tokyo, did you maybe have like any, like maybe like preconceptions of what you thought the experience would be like, or did you want to go in and just try to block out anything, like any free notion that you might have had?
I honestly had no expectations at all, and we had the Olympic Village and everything, but I think with COVID, you really had no idea. And people that were in the past games, there was nothing to kind of compare to COVID, with no spectators, and we didn't really know what the rules would be like once we got to the village with COVID testing and everything. So we had no expectations, which was almost nicer. So whatever came, we were excited about, whether it's the smallest thing. We were like, oh my God, like I think we were 50 meters from the dining hall. It was like 24/7 dining hall. Just the small things like that was just, it was really nice. But it was really nice being there as a group and with the team, because you could just enjoy it together. And like you just remember every little thing. Your first drive, we had like driverless cars there and stuff. So it was just everything. Yeah, you just remember it, and it was just really special. Yeah.
Oh, those driverless cars sound very interesting. I would have probably been most excited about that.
I know, it took a while to trust them, to be honest. Get injured before a game, car crash, but I know it was great. Yeah, it was brilliant.
And now, so Ireland was in quite a difficult pool. I mean, there was like world champs, Netherlands was in the pool, Germany, Olympic champions at the time, Britain. And then also India and South Africa, who were ranked underneath Ireland, but I think still in general it was a difficult pool. So, and unfortunately, Ireland got knocked out of the pool stages. Obviously, it must have been very difficult for the team. But do you remember how you also felt after that? Yeah,
I think the first South Africa game was a target game, and we were really obviously delighted to win that. But just walking out to do the anthems and everything. For that first game, it was just incredible, and they were empty stands, so it didn't really have that atmosphere. But just to be there and kind of know that we were the first Irish women's hockey team to be in Olympics, that was really special. But we did want to kind of get to the quarters and maybe contest the semis. So it was really disappointing, to be knocked out, especially just being so close. I think we kind of lost. I think it was 1-0 to India and maybe 2 or 3 to GB, but they were tight games. It was definitely disappointing finish, but we were just kind of fortunate to be there, happy the games actually went ahead as well, because there was question over that, and it just kind of gave us the motivation to get back for Paris and to start competing in those big tournaments.
And I think also because you guys were the first Irish women's team to actually go there, you guys became trailblazers, and I think for a lot of youngsters who were looking, and then when they also heard the news, I think you really set such a good example for what could be achieved, and I think you opened the eyes to a lot of the future generation of hockey players, which must have been pretty cool if you think about it though.
It's really special, and the girls got a silver at the World Cup as well, so that kind of set the standard, and to continue with the Tokyo just successive qualifying, is really important for us, and we knew that kind of set the legacy going forward. So yeah, there's been a huge uptake, in young people playing hockey now, and it's great. We've been around clubs all over Ireland, with Softco, one of our sponsors, and it's just been brilliant just to see the enthusiasm and see the green jerseys around, because you wouldn't have had that a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's really nice to see the sport growing.
Yeah, and I know also, so when we just joined our club that my husband and I play at in Donabate, the manager was also telling us, when he was trying to like sell the club to us and everything, but he was just explaining how after the women had actually gone to the Olympics, there was such a huge influx of young girls that joined the club, and a lot of them stayed on. So the interest from the girls at the club, at their club at the moment, has just been phenomenal over the past couple of years. So that is really cool. So would you say that Ireland was, would you say that hockey in Ireland was quite not as popular a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the kind of minority sports, and it's still hard to compete with with the Gaelic and camogie and everything. But yeah, it's a lot. It is growing, and we still want it to grow a lot more now. But yeah, it's definitely one of the smaller sports in Ireland. But we're definitely making moves.
Yeah. Did you play camogie at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
yeah.
but would you say though that so I obviously don't know much about it, but would you say this? I would think I have watched a bit of camogie, and I think the skills do seem transferable if you wanted to switch to hockey.
Yeah, I do get slagged for my lack of knowledge around camogie and Gaelic in the team, but yeah, a lot of the girls, there's the Carey twins and everything, they played camogie for Dublin and everything growing up, and you can definitely see those skills coming through, because we do a lot of 3D skills now, so in the air, a lot of kind of tricks and skills around that. So definitely, it'd be transferable, and even kind of volleying shots in the circle if it's shooting on goal. It's all kind of relative, and I'm sure the Dublin managers might be onto us someday to get us in there. But similar.
So the Hockey European Championships are coming up. So when will it be, and where will it be as well? And how are you guys feeling about it?
Yeah, so the Europeans are in Germany this year in Mönchengladbach. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's in there. It's a great sports centre there. I think they have football and rugby and all sorts there. So it'll be a good atmosphere, I'd say. I think they've sold out kind of games already.
Oh, wow.
We start, I think our first game is the 18th of August. So we're travelling about 2 weeks' time from now. And we'll have a week of training over there, and then we'll get going. But yeah, we're so excited to go. The Europeans is probably one of the hardest tournaments in world hockey, just with the standard of teams in Europe. So it's always brilliant to be able to kind of go and try and compete with them. And of course, the winner gets a ticket to Paris. So you never know what might happen. But it's also important for our Paris qualifier in January, February next year, just to make sure we can secure that spot going forward. Yeah.
So could you sum up maybe what the Olympic qualification journey is for hockey players?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people will probably remember there was the Donnybrook experience for the girls qualifying for Tokyo, and that was just kind of one-off games, but it's changed now to 2 tournaments. So there'll be 2 tournaments in January with 8 teams in each, and basically the top 3 in each tournament will qualify. So there'll be 6 teams from there. And that doesn't include kind of continental winners, so the winner of Europe, the African Championships, the Oceania Cup, and the likes of those. So yeah, obviously if you win your continental, you're straight through, but otherwise we'll all be in that tournament kind of fighting for those top 3 spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a particular team that you are most excited to play at the European Championships?
Europeans, yeah. Well, we have Germany in our group, and it's always really nice playing the host nation. You'll get a good crowd out, and we played Holland in the World Cup last year in Holland, and it was such a special experience. So hopefully it'll be kind of similar. But yeah, I think playing Germany, and we always kind of go well against them, I think, and they're just a nice team to play against. So hopefully, it'll be an exciting game. Yeah,
super exciting. Yeah, and so I'm sure the path to becoming a national athlete is it's different for everyone, but I'm sure a lot of sacrifices also have to happen. So would you say that you had to make quite a few sacrifices to get to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, we've all made so many sacrifices, whether it's, I think when we started, say, under 16, under 18s, you'd be missing the parties at the weekend and stuff. But now, we've kind of grown, and like personally, I've had to kind of defer college and everything. So I've done my college course over kind of 6-7 years rather than the 4. So kind of different things like that. Some girls have put work off for a few years, and you might then have to live at home for a few years longer and maybe not move out. So it's smaller things, I suppose, as you get older, and there's different sacrifices that have to be made. But we'd never kind of question them. Like, it's always with the next tournament in mind, so it's always worthwhile. But yeah, I don't think you could maybe be as successful as maybe we are if you're continuing kind of the normal life and doing everything.
Here's a fact for you. Twice as many girls drop out of sports than boys before the age of 14. So as a sportswoman yourself, and someone also grew up playing sport, why do you think it's important for girls to be involved in sport?
Yeah, I think it's so special, I think, as a girl, because it's just changing kind of our perception of things recently. Having women in sport it's so powerful now, and we still, when you ask probably people's role models, it's still probably majority male sports people. So, but that is changing, with the likes of Katie Taylor, Katie Harrington, all those strong like Irish sports people are really changing that for everyone. And yeah, it's so important just to see the numbers from the women's side, just so we can keep growing it and keep everyone's interest in the high sports people.
And just sort of following on to that, why do you love hockey, and how has it impacted your life?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's just such a challenging game that every day it's like a learning day. Like, as soon as you get comfortable at one skill, there's something else that you need to develop. So it's always, I think I just love the challenge of it, and knowing that you can work on something new every day. And yeah, it's had a huge impact on my life, probably on my family and everything. But they love traveling around the world, following us playing, and yeah, even my dad was a big soccer player when he was younger. So yeah, just seeing kind of his daughters just playing is just really special for him. And yeah, it's just a great sport, and doing it with your friends that you're playing with day in, day out. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also I can also resonate with I think specifically hockey. Like, it's also a team sport, and I think there's nothing better than having that camaraderie with like your teammates and the friendships you build as well, which you can probably relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've all gone through the hard sessions together and the easier ones, but yeah, when you get that success, you've done it together, so it just makes it extra special. Yeah.
Would you say, I just thought of another question now, would you say that do you guys have like agreements beforehand, or do you make decisions about what you'll do, like if you score a goal, or is that not a thing? Is it very much like, okay, you do what you want to do, if you score a goal, I'll do what I do?
Yeah, no, we've never really discussed that. I suppose you don't know when the goal is going to come, whether it's if it's in a corner, a lot of us will be there, so you do your kind of classic huddle. But I think if an individual scores, it's a bit more drama around it, and everyone's running, because it's probably more of a shock, in a way, because it could go wide, it could go in, you never really know. So we don't really talk about it. I mean, some of the soccer players have a few gigs and stuff, don't they? Maybe we should get that into the game.
Yeah, who knows?
You never know. You
guys can start, maybe not diving on the pitch, but like
no, probably get sent off.
True. So also, again, just leading on, why would you encourage other girls and women to play hockey?
I think just the friends element of it is huge. We're a lot of us coach as well, so I've coached primary school girls, secondary school girls, and to see them coming out after school and just they're just having fun with their friends, I think it's really special. So yeah, just being able to be part of a team, I think is something really nice, just growing up and just learn. There's so many skills that you can learn in terms of leadership skills and kind of organization and just being diligent with training and everything. So yeah, there's so much that you can just develop, which will really stand to you kind of going forward into future life.
And looking into the future, what would you say are your aspirations as a national hockey player, and how do you hope to make a positive impact on the sport, which I think you are already doing, especially with also being a coach.
I think like with the team, obviously Paris is the main goals now. But I think, yeah, just looking forward to where we can maybe get the jersey. We always say about the legacy of the jersey. It's just, yeah, if we can get to Paris and then hopefully continue on. I think LA is the next one. But just to solidify Ireland in the world stage and know that we'll get to those tournaments every year is really important for us. So if we can leave kind of the jersey in a better place for the next girls coming through and set the standard, I think that will be one of our goals achieved. Of course, it's never easy, and I'm not sure how long I'll be coaching, but if you could have maybe a role kind of in development squads and stuff as well, and give them the lessons that we've learned. I think it could be really important. So yeah, just to make sure that the girls behind us develop with us, and yeah, just set that legacy going forward.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you again for the next episode. Be sure to subscribe to Her Sports social platforms to get the latest women in sports content.